السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. عدنا إليكم من جديد بعد انقطاع دام لأيام بأسباب عديدة، منها الذهاب إلى البحر والاستمتاع بالأجواء، ونحاول قدر الإمكان أنه نغير الأجواء. الحين إن شاء الله رح نواصل مشوار المراجعات لأساسيات اللغة الإنجليزية، وذلك لمساهمة بسيطة مني لكل من لديه الرغبة في المراجعة وتحسين المستوى واستغلال الوقت الفراغ في انتظار عودة المدارس بإذن الله تعالى. شفنا في الدروس الماضية nouns والpronouns. اليوم إن شاء الله راح نشوف درس جديد مرتبط بالناونز اللي هو الادجكتيفز. راح نحاول في هذا الدرس إنه نحكي أكثر باللغة الإنجليزية حتى تقدروا إنكم تستمعوا وتتعودوا على اللغة. وبطبيعة الحال إذا في أي استفسارات أو تساؤلات ممكن إنك توقف الفيديو تحاول تبحث شوية، وإن شاء الله يعني الأمور تكون طيبة. نحاول أن نتكلم بالهداوة بدون يعني سرعة حتى تتمكنوا من فهم المحتوى، وإن شاء الله ينال الفيديو إعجابكم. ولا تنسوا بطبيعة الحال الضغط على الإعجاب والاشتراك في القناة. العائلة في القناة الحمد لله بدأت تكبر، وصلنا ل 42 مشترك ولله الحمد. فخور بكم، وإن شاء الله تستفيدوا ونكون في تواصل، رغم إني نتكلم يعني من جهة واحدة اللي هو الموقع الافتراضي. تحاولوا تشاركوني بآرائكم في التعليقات، وإن شاء الله نبدأ الدرس على بركة الله. وإذا في أي استفسار عادي اكتبوا في الكومنتس، وإن شاء الله يعني نجاوبكم في القريب العاجل. نبدأ الدرس بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. عنا today we are going to introduce adjectives. Adjectives are describing words that they describe or modify a noun. So we are going to learn in this here video about 4 sections. Section number 1 is about the position of these adjectives, either attributive or predicative. Then the second part is about the order, how to order these adjectives. Section number 3 is about morphology. Morphology is the structure of the word, that is the root, and if we can add a prefix or a suffix. Finally, the last section, section number 4, is about comparatives. So let's start with this first example. A car. Here a is the indefinite article, and also it is called a determiner. And we can have a list of determiners such as indefinite article either a or an, definite articles such as the, possessive adjectives such as your, my. Also we can include demonstrative pronouns such as this, that, those, and these. Okay. Concerning the noun here car, we can modify it, that is we can describe it with an adjective. So let's take an adjective which is red. So where can we put this adjective, that is his position, where we can put it? Before the noun, after the noun, where exactly? So here we have actually 2 options as we have shown in the introduction. Here the predicative or the attributive. So the attributive means before the noun. For example, here we say here a red car. Car is the noun and the adjective red modifies it. Modify the car. Good. Or we can put it after the noun, and it is in the predicate. The predicate means the verb, and all what comes after the verb is called predicate. So here we can say the car is red. Here red actually modifies the subject, and it is in the predicate. So we can say it's a predicative adjective. Good. Now here we are going to move to the second section, which is about the order. Here we speak about the order when we have more than one adjective modifying the same noun. Here let's take this example. We have a car and we have a set of adjectives modifying a car. For example, red, expensive, Japanese, big, and old. So try to order these adjectives according to your own knowledge. So you can here stop the video, write down your attempt, then check within us the correct order. Good. So I'm going to provide you here a list of adjectives that should be here organized according to this order. So in number 1, the first position, we can add here adjectives of opinion, such as here great, cheap, and etc. Or we can add here adjectives about the size, such as small, thin, big, etc. Then the age. The age means that old, new, young, etc. Or color. So the color, we can speak about red, yellow, green, etc. Or the origin, such as American, Swiss, Omani, etc. And finally, we can speak about the origin, or the material. The material such as gold, silver, plastic, etc. Now, after knowing these here orders, so we can here have the correct order for our example. So the correct order is what? We have expensive comes first, big, then old, then red, then Japanese, and finally car. Let's move on to the determiner. We have a car, but here the first word or the first adjective begins with a vowel. So a vowel which is E, expensive. So we can't say expensive. This is hard to pronounce, so we should use the indefinite article an. We say an expensive, big, old, red, Japanese car. Good. Now let's move on to the third section. Then here we have morphology. Morphology means the structure of the word. So we have the root. Start with prefixes. Prefixes means certain letters that we put in front or at the beginning of the word. For example, the prefix an, un, an. And we can say, for example, unpleasant or unhappy. Pleasant and happy are adjectives, so the root here is an adjective. So if we add an, it gives the opposite, pleasant, unpleasant, happy, unhappy. We have also the prefix im. We have, for example, possible, impossible, or polite, impolite. The third prefix is er. We have relevant, irrelevant, regular, irregular. Good. Now let's move on to suffixes. Suffixes also are certain letters that we put at the end of the word or the root. The root in this case, we are going to here focus on some nouns. For example, here a noun plus a suffix which is full. For example, joy, joyful, joy, joyful. Also we have power, powerful, power, powerful. We have a root, a noun also, plus the suffix al, al. So here, for example, origin, original, nation, national. Another suffix which is ish, and usually we put this suffix after noun also, and it is a pejorative or a negative. It has a pejorative meaning. For example, child, childish, or self, selfish. A noun, another suffix which is y. The y here comes as a suffix after a noun. Storm, stormy. The next one we have a root which is a noun plus the suffix ly. For example, friend, friendly, month, monthly. The sixth example, here we have a noun plus the suffix us, o-u-s. Here, danger, dangerous, poison, poisonous. The last one is a noun plus the suffix less, use, useless, job, jobless. Now we are going to move to another type of a root which is a verb. So a verb plus the suffix if. The first example, the verb plus if. For example, act, active. Here, act, active. Also we have create, creative. The second example, we have the verb plus the suffix ant, a-n-t. So we have reluctant and we have acceptant. Finally, we have a verb plus ent, int, absorb, absorbent, and adhere, adherent. Good. Let's move on to the fourth section, which is about comparatives. The strategy is to read selected here examples and we try to deduce the rule. Okay, so let's start with the first example here. A rabbit is faster than a mouse. The second example, we have the cheetah is the fastest animal in the world. Here let's focus on the adjectives in these here examples. We have fast plus er, faster than. The second example, we have the fastest, that is the adjective plus est. This is the first set. The second set of examples, here we have patient A is finer than patient B. Patient C is the finest patient. So here we have the adjective fine plus are plus than. Then we have the plus the adjective fine plus st. The third set of examples, which is an elephant is bigger than a goat. An elephant is bigger than a goat. The blue whale is the biggest animal in the world. Is the biggest animal. So here we have the adjective big. Here big, bigger than. What we here notice is that the last consonant is doubled. The G becomes 2, doubled. So bigger, big plus G plus ER. Then we have the big double the G est. Yes, let's move to the fourth set of examples. Here we have Amal is happier than Farah. We have also Ahmed is the happiest student. So here we have the adjective happy. We notice that the last here letter, which is Y. Y is transformed into I. So here happier plus ER. Also we have the happiest. Also the Y is transformed into I plus EST. The fifth here set of examples, we have this car is more expensive than yours. We have also the red car is the most expensive. So here we have more expensive than. We have the most expensive. Okay, after these 5 sets of examples, we are going to try to here deduce the rule. As you have noticed, we have each set consists of a pair, that is 2 examples. The first example actually it compares between 2 items, either people or here things. So this is called comparison. So comparison means we compare between 2 items. So let's deduce the first rule. Here we have the adjective consists of only 1 syllable. Syllable means that sound that we can divide. For example, fast. Here we can't say st. So only 1 sound. So this is called a syllable. So adjective consists of only 1 syllable. They are grouped together and we can form or deduce a rule for them. We have grouped some here verbs or some adjectives, like here fast, also small, short and tall. In the comparative we just add er at these adjectives plus than. Here we say faster than, smaller than, and shorter than, taller than. Okay, when we move to the second example in the first set, here we are going to speak about superlative. What does it mean, superlative? When we select only one from a group, only one item from a group, this is called superlative. So here we have superlatives for adjective consisting of only 1 syllable. Here we say the fastest, that is the adjective plus est, and we should here add first the. So we say the fastest, the tallest, the shortest, and the smallest. Now let's move on to the second here set of examples. Actually, they are also adjectives consisting of only 1 syllable but ending in E, the letter E. Here we have fine, rare, brave. So if we have at the end of these adjectives the letter E, we should not add another E, we just only add R. So we say finer than, rarer than, braver than. Good. Now let's move on to the third set of examples, which consist of also adjective with only 1 syllable, but we have also only one vowel followed by only one consonant. So we say one vowel plus one consonant. For example, here we have big, thin, fat. What we should do, the last consonant should be doubled. So we say bigger than, thinner than, fatter than. This is the comparison, that is, we compare between two items. Concerning the superlative, the same thing here. We should double the last consonant, but do not forget the biggest, the thinnest, and the fattest. Good. Now let's move on to the fourth here set of examples. We have happy. Happy is an adjective consisting of two syllables. Happy, busy, heavy. Here we should first of all omit the y, which comes last. So we say adjectives consisting of two syllables ending in y. This y is going to be omitted and replaced by the letter I. We say happier than, busier than, and heavier than. This is the comparative, that is, we compare between two items. When we speak about the superlative, so the same thing, do not forget here the happiest, the busiest, the heaviest. Good. Now let's move on to the fifth set. This set actually consists of here these adjectives consist of two syllables and more. Here let's focus on the example. Here we have expensive, expensive. We have three syllables. Amazing, two syllables. Difficult, two syllables. Beautiful, three syllables. And boring, two syllables. Boring. Good. So what we should do in this case, here we add more at the beginning of the comparison. So more expensive than, more amazing than, more here difficult than, more boring than, and finally here we are going to speak about the superlative of these here. Fifth case, here the superlative, we say the most expensive, the most amazing, the most difficult, the most beautiful, the most boring. These are here the general rules concerning the comparative, the comparison or the comparatives. So each rule unfortunately might have an exception or exceptions. So here we are going to select an adjective, like for example good. Good is an adjective with one here syllable, good. So if we apply this general rule, we should add er in the comparison. We say gooder, or we add est in order to here get the superlative, the goodest. But this is ungrammatical because here we have an exception, and pay attention to the exceptions. So we should say that here good in the comparison becomes better, better than. In the superlative we say the best. Also we say bad, bad we say worse than in the comparison, and the worst in the superlative. Concerning many or much, here we say in the comparison more than, or in the superlatives the most. Here little we say less than, or the least. Of course, here little and many are the opposite, so we can say the most or the least. They are the opposite. Good. And finally, we have far. Far, we can say in the comparatives, farther than. Farther than is used for a distance, far, far. Or further than when we are referring to time, So here we have a distance in space and a distance in time. So in the superlatives, we say the farthest, here the farthest and the furthest. Good. Now we just here accomplished the comparatives, but we are going to open a window for active learners. So I encourage you to improve your English through research. So we are going to speak about here compound adjectives. Compound adjectives, there are many here examples, but I am going to show you 2 examples in order to be aware of this area, and you can here learn more about it by yourself. Here we have a compound adjective, that is an adjective consists of 2 parts which are linked together. We can add here a hyphen between the 2 parts. So I have selected here the first example, which is a number plus noun. Together they form a compound adjective. For example, a number, let's say a 5 minutes break. Here, as you see the symbol, this adjective, this compound adjective needs or requires repair. Why? Because there is a mistake here. What is the mistake? Is actually the S in minutes. When we speak about compound adjectives, numbers, here the nouns after the number should not here be used in the plural. We don't put NS. So the correct one is what? Here, a 5-minute break. A 5-minute break. We don't say 5 minutes break. And there is a little hyphen between number and the noun. Also, we can use compound here adjective using an adjective plus a noun. For example, a high quality product. Also, here the last minute goal. The last minute goal. And alhamdulillah, here we finished this lesson. نتمنى أنكم استمتعتوا راجعتوا بعض المعلومات واللي بعضها كان غايب استحضرتوه، وبطبيعة الحال أني أدعوكم إلى مزيد المراجعة وتحاولوا أنكم حتى تأخذوا يعني بعض الكتب للحل المنزلي بروحكم، وتحصلوا حتى ممكن إصلاحات في آخر الكتب، وإن شاء الله يعني مستواكم يتحسن حسن إلى أحسن. في النهاية ندعو دعاء إن شاء الله ربي يتقبل منا صالح الأعمال. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك، لا إله إلا أنت، نستغفرك ونتوب إليك، نستغفرك ونتوب إليك، نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. دمتم في حفظ الله ورعايته، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.